Hello and welcome to the ThinkSports Podcast. Today we have with us Rituparna. She's had various coaching assignments and she used to be a cricket player before. She has obtained a lot of licenses and she can give us a lot of insight about cricket coaching. And this is a very special episode because this is the first time we have someone who's had some female involvement in the sport. So it'll be nice to hear her perspective on this. So I'm just going to pass it on to Rituparna. You can briefly explain how it is that you've reached this position, and you can briefly explain your coaching assignments.
Yeah, thank you, Ronojit. Myself, Rituparna. Presently, I'm associated with the Bengal women's team. I'm looking after 23 and the seniors. And before this, I was associated with various other teams. I was also once associated with Bengal in 2018 when we won both the championship in seniors and 23. Before that, I was associated with Gujarat, Baroda, Vidarbh, Orissa. Meanwhile, I had also been to UK at Loughborough to do my sports coaching studies. I did my ECB level 2 then. So basically, I've been a cricketer and I could not leave cricket in spite of having an MBA degree. I worked in PricewaterhouseCoopers for 3 to 4 years, but that was not that was giving me joy from inside. So it was always a cricket field, and so I left the corporate world. I've been into coaching. Since I had the qualification, I thought, let's try my luck. Let's try my passion. And since then, it's never been looking back. So till now, it's been going fine and been enjoying each bit of it.
So when you were working for PwC, right? So for that 3-4 year period and then transitioning into coming back to cricket, that must have been a difficult choice, right? Because many of us are in that position where you're kind of passionate about sports, but then you don't know whether you're going to leave your current job because it gives you some stability, and then you have the family aspect to it as well, because they are going to be worried if you're going to leave your job and you come back to sports, because it isn't that clear cut, at least in India, in terms of a financial point of view. So that must have been difficult. What went into your decision, in terms of considering the financial aspect, balancing out your family also in this? Was it a challenge for you?
Yeah, definitely. It was a great challenge. But at the end of the day, what happens is you need to really find where your heart is. And I know, financially, sometimes the heart and the head doesn't coincide. But to be honest, I was not running that time financially. I was running more for my passion. And one thing today, after this 10-year long journey, I've realized that if you really love something and if you're really passionate, whatever the obstacle is, if you run for your passion, money will come. But if you run for money, then probably you will land nowhere. So as per my personal experience goes, when I started coaching, definitely the financially it was much less than what I was earning at PricewaterhouseCoopers. But my whole passion was in coaching to stay associated with the game. I wanted to give back more to the game. And initially, I did not involve my parents in this decision making. It was a bold step, which I told them maybe 3 to 4 months later, because for them it would be very tough. So I wanted to take the tough call. I wanted to take it all over me, so that if I went wrong, I would again go back, to corporate world. But thankfully, it was not to be. I kept going forward in my coaching assignments, and my parents kept backing me since then.
So this is it's very interesting actually, because Ronald's talking about this. I'm in a very similar position as to where you were, because I for the last 2 years I've been working at KPMG, and I just left to follow my passion, which is sport. And so the way I decided to make that transition is I'm going to go to college to study sports management, and then I'm going to move ahead. I want to know about your transition. How did you transition from PwC to then going into coaching? Did you start coaching at a junior team? Did you go to college for it? How did that go? Because you spoke about how you went to Loughborough to study. So just talk about your transition.
That's a great question. The transition didn't happen all of a sudden. basically what happened is, thanks to BCCI, I would say, because they came up with a coaching course. And when I was playing, I was still playing. I played till 2009. I was in PricewaterhouseCoopers and I was still playing. And thanks to Pricewaterhouse that they did allow me. So, but there was a time when, after all, I could not take so many leaves. So there was a period of tussle where I had to decide between my corporate world and my coaching career. But when I was in Pricewaterhouse, I was not into coaching still. I was still playing. But by then I had completed my level A. BCCI under CAB. There was an opportunity they offered me, and I gratefully did it. I did very well, and that's how I came to know that coaching has a scientific background to it so much that we lacked as a player. We lacked that bit of inputs that the biomechanics is offered, video analysis is offered when we were playing. But when I did the level A course, my eyes opened and I came to know that there is so much to give back to the game, and there is so much that the game has advanced. And since I have the qualification behind me, if I can, add this and I can get into coaching, then it can be fantastic. But yes, it did not happen overnight. I had this playing experience. I had a level A experience in coaching. So then this whole thing came in between to decide what I should do. And then I thought of taking a break, basically. So that's how it happened. Because I had the MBA degree behind me. Before Pricewater, I also had another 3-4 years into in another corporate firm. So basically, there was around 7 years of corporate experience under my belt, and the playing experience of 12-13 years, and a level A coaching degree. So what I did, I thought it's best to take a break and try out. And if it doesn't work for a year, I can always come back because I have my qualification, I have my experience. So I gave it a shot, I gave it a try, because unless you take a risk in life, you don't get anything. If you keep thinking, if you keep contemplating, then it doesn't happen. So I guess what I did was I took a year's gap, which was a great thing that happened. Which I think today, when I sit back and I think that was that 1 year break good enough, I will say yes, it was. So whenever I feel, you are also going through this whole, confusion period. Even many youngsters are going through. I will always say, give yourself some time. And I guess if you're qualified, nothing like it. With playing, if you have the qualification with you, it adds a lot. So, that helps you to get back to your career or to pursue whatever you are, following. So that helped me, that break helped me. I applied in Orissa, and thankfully, women's coaches were not there at that moment. Qualified level A women coaches were not so many in numbers. So that helped me a bit. Being from the East also helped me a bit, that everything somehow coincided, and I got the opportunity. I was blessed to get the opportunity of the head coach of the Orissa women's team. They actually appreciated my MBA degree, because Orissa is a state where everybody is not highly educated, so they wanted their girls to be under somebody who was educated, who could only not build their cricket skills, but also inculcate within them the life skills, the discipline, the punctuality. There's so many other things that is needed in sports. It's not just the skills. Skills can be taught by many, but a great teacher, a great coach teaches you life skills, how to be together, how to be disciplined. Probably that is what they saw in me, and they gave me the opportunity, for which I will forever be thankful. And that's how my journey began.
Okay, this is interesting. Ma'am, before we move forward, I think we should go back to how you got into the sport, your playing days, your playing experiences, something you'd like to share from there, and how this whole journey began.
To be honest, my journey was very fascinating. Today, I really think that I've been blessed. Because I had faced a lot of obstacles. People say I have problems. I guess you grow more when you have problems. And I had a lot of problems. I will not say today those were problems. They were obstacles to make me stronger. My father is a professor. He always wanted me to study. Sports was never in my family. I'm not from a sports background, but from childhood, I used to play all sport, say football, cricket, badminton, flying kites, everything. Sports was somewhere it came in my blood, and I love sports. But to be honest, and sadly, that time, very few clubs or academies would take women players. I literally remember still my mother supported me a lot, but my father was slightly reluctant. The only reason being that there was no future. So probably that time I don't blame. That time, of course, I did not take it very well. But today I understand why he was reluctant, because in 2006 BCCI took over. That time there was no future in women's cricket. So when I started, I would not have been in cricket if there was a club that just opened opposite my house. And Lopamudra Bhattacharya, she was the ex-India player, ex-India selector. She happened to spot me playing with the boys in the locality. And she just called me and said that, would you want to play cricket professionally? So I did not even know women played cricket professionally then, because the media coverage was not there. So I was like extremely excited, and I joined this academy. I still remember I was in class 7 when I first got my sub-junior selection in Bengal, but my father did not let me go. That also I remember. Another obstacle. And I did not go for any tournament in spite of being selected many times till I completed my class 12 exam. I only went because my family studies was always the priority, and today I think it was a blessing. Yeah, maybe, if I had got those few years, it would have been a little different, but I don't regret. No regrets. So after class 12, I got selected in juniors. I started to play, then senior team. Then 2008, I played for India A. So that's my journey. It's been fascinating. It's been full of obstacles, but it's been full of fun, excitement, challenge. That has made me what I am today.
That's a really good story. And also, how you highlight in the beginning, it was difficult because there wasn't too much involvement in terms of women's participation in sports. So it was very difficult for you to see a future in this, because there wasn't, maybe it was existing at the time, but it wasn't publicized. So
Yes.
from an outside point of view, you don't really see it. But what, in your opinion, has changed since that time? Now you're a coach. Now you can see maybe something from the inside. So what do you think, in your opinion, has changed? Like, what is the progress that has happened in women's sport?
Progress has been it's been a serious progress, huge improvement. When 2006 BCCI took over, see, for any sport to grow, you need infrastructure, you need money. So these were the things that was not there under Women's Cricket Association of India. Initially, it was under Women's Cricket Association of India. 2006, ICC took a big step forward, for which BCCI took over. And since then, the transition of women's cricket took over. And today you can see that the Lords, the final that happened at Lords had a packed stadium. So that itself shows how much women's cricket has grown. Earlier, we traveled in unreserved compartments. We slept in platforms. We literally took money out of our pockets and traveled, because there was scarcity of fund in our association, earlier association. But then when BCCI took over, we started to stay in 3-star, 4-star, domestic. I'm talking about domestic. International player stays in 5-star and 7 stars now. I'm talking about domestic cricket, and we travel in flights. Earlier we traveled, as I said, in unreserved compartments. So the change has been enormous. We never thought that a team would comprise of. We only thought the team would comprise of a coach who would have various jobs of a physio, of a trainer. But now we have a separate trainer, we have a physio, we have a video analyst, we have a masseur. So it itself shows the support staff. The strength of the support staff has grown. The scientific involvement of the coaches with their, various qualification, that has given a different angle to coaching. Earlier, we were just told what to do, but why we are doing it, that was never told to us. Just do it. Now, why we are doing it? So now what happens, the qualified coaches know and can tell a player what to do and why to do it. So the trust factor grows, and then you actually see as why it is helping you. So there has been such a lot of improvement that is why I think women's cricket is going great heights.
Right, ma'am. I see Michael Bevan has a wonderful quote to say about you. I think Michael Bevan is renowned as one of the greatest white ball finishers in the game. What really caught my eye was that he goes on to say, and I think I'm going to quote right here. Each and every session of hers was uniquely designed as per requirement of each and every player. It's interesting as a coach when you're designing your training schedules and your training sessions and so on. How do you go about planning such sessions? Is it based on where you're going to play, your opposition, the players that you have? Say you don't know the players that you have. So what is your mindset when you're going to take training sessions, and how do you go about constructing them as a coach?
That's a great thing you've looked into. I appreciate your question. See what happens, the whole calendar is divided into 4 to 5 aspects, okay? So what happens is, if you are designing a program, first it's an off-season training. So that is the time. Suppose you have joined, I have joined a state where I don't know the players. So first I get to know them. There's a one-to-one interview. Then I get to know their skill set. I see their videos, what they have done last season, how they have scored, which area they were good, which area needs to be, improved. So there's a lot of homework that goes in the ground. It's just 3-4 hours, but a coach has to work for many more hours. So once that is sorted out, then you design a program about where the player can improve. And the off-season camps are most essential, because that is the where you can teach them new skills. You can really hone their skills, and then just before preseason, just before the tournaments, you don't touch much with skill improvements. You just what you do is where you're going to play. That is the time it happens. You create a schedule where you design where you're going to play. So what kind of wickets, what kind of opponents. So you do an analysis on the opponents as well. So you will be playing how many in-swing bowlers, out-swing bowlers, leg spinners. So what we do is we also get in boys from whichever state I've been, because in girls in our women's team, sometimes you don't get so much variety. But what you can always do, you can get an under 14 guy who is a Chinaman maybe, or a good wing bowler, or under 16 boy, and then you make them play. So you design a schedule as per the requirement of that present season. And of course, many times you don't get exactly what you want, but at least if you can design the schedule as per game requirement, that is most important. So what happens is the confidence that it gives to a player. So half the battle is won when you're going to play a tournament. You're so much full of confidence that if actually, what we do is, I'll give you an interesting thing is, when we start the tournament, before that we already play 6 matches. Suppose. So we already say the next match we are going to play is the 7th game. You understand my point?
Yeah.
That's the way you go about. It's about building confidence. End of the day, it's not about how skillful you are, how brave you are, how confident you are, and how much you can improvise what you have learned in the match. So that is how the whole structure is scheduled. That is how that's the work of a coach. The coach actually is like creating that atmosphere that the player will face exactly wherever we will travel. The good part of women's cricket is, or you can say, good or bad, whatever. Till now, the good part is we only go to one place and play. We don't travel like men. We don't go for one match, maybe to north and then travel to south. So that way, the plus point is if you are going to travel in south, so you know the weather, you know the wicket. If you're going to travel in north, you know the weather and the wicket. So before the matches begin, we'll have a lot of match simulation arranged accordingly. So that's how I go about.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. What also, as a personally, that comes to me is, as a coach, once a player has reached a certain level, it's not so much his batting or his bowling skills that, I mean, because you're up to that particular level. So as a coach for you, what do you look in a player or in a group of players, because there are so many, our country with our population, there's so many numbers, that makes you or catches your eye, that will be like, okay, this person is different from the rest, this person can make it to the top level. I'm talking about the, say, from the junior levels, school, state, so on, that can make that jump up. So what is it that you look for in a coach, in players? What is it that they show you that makes you feel, okay, they are the difference maker?
Your question I can't exactly answer in a sentence, because your question does have a lot of parameters attached to it. Like, for instance, you can't just see somebody and say it's the player will play for India. One, why I'm saying, because cricket is a late development game. Okay, so if you see, if research says that a player, cricketer, be it a women or a men's cricketer, they blossom generally at the age of 25, 26. Okay, but again, coming back to your question, definitely there are certain qualities, attributes that do attract you, and like a player like Shefali, like a player like Richa, who gets selected at the age of 16, they are exceptional, and the exception comes out at things like what you can deliver, or what kind of a delivery you can play if you're a batter at that age. That itself shows. And the best thing that is that they deliver is when they are playing with seniors, the way they adapt. If the young player is really good, their adaptability will be supreme. So what I look into is how the player, in spite of their age, adapt to the situation, play to the situation, and are not perturbed, or they are not, what happens, you don't shy away. Basically, you are ready to face. A 16-year-old ready to face Julian Goswami shows that this girl has certain X factor. So that is the thing, that is the ingredient that one looks in a player. We actually have a lot of talent in Bengal, and even all over India there's a lot of talent, but then finding that talent, and they will fail. These kind of players will fail. You have to have faith, you have to back them, you have to really give them a lot of motivation, and they will really do well. But definitely, to be honest, the competition level is yet to grow to that height. It is started to grow. Like in men's cricket, the competition is supreme level, but women's cricket, it is still growing. It has, because now if you see, the youngsters are really doing well, like a Jemima Rodriguez, like a Shefali, like a Deepti, like a Richa. So definitely, for coaches like us, if you see such talent, you have to back them, you have to give them more opportunity, and they will do well. In spite of cricket being a late development game, this whole scenario is changing. Youngsters are taking the responsibility, and they are contributing in the team success. So you have to, as a coach, you have to have patience. Whenever you see that somebody can hit a 6 at the age of 16 with ease, does have talent.
Right.
Something
Right, this
like-
is
Yeah, go on.
yeah. So just sorry, one more was, I found it interesting. You've coached at the India level, so that's international. You've done state as well. You've had stints at the school level also with Lamartine, I think it was, where you coached there. So for you as a coach, what challenges do you face, and how much do you have to adapt at the different levels, the different stages that you have to go about coaching? How do you go about that adjustment?
Right. See, when I was playing, I really thought that wish my school team had a women's cricket team, like a cricket team. But if you still see, there's only the boys' school who have a school cricket. Still, cricket in our state, it still needs to develop in the grassroots level. So if I speak about Lamartinius, let me start from Lamartinius. It was my challenge to start women's cricket from in the school level. So that's why I went to many schools. I was still working then in Pricewater, but it was my challenge to develop school cricket. But that stopped midway because when I got the opportunity in Orissa, that time I was beginning. So for me, as a beginner, it was a great opportunity to interact with school kids, and that gave me a lot of confidence in my coaching career. And as you rightly said, that every team needs different skill set, and probably that has helped me because La Martiniere started, that was a school team, and that was my first assignment. So I think the transition phase of going from one team to the other team, from a smaller team to the bigger team, has helped me. Midway, of course, I felt that I needed to know more. That's why I went to Loughborough, to be honest, because I lacked the international exposure, and I felt that I needed to go there to become associated with bigger teams. So that was my first criteria. And I wanted to know, like, what is it? It always fascinated me that foreign countries are more advanced in sports. I really wanted to see from very near, very close, what it is that was different. And the thing that was different was my personal experiences, because I was associated with ECB, like it is NCA. My Loughborough, I joined Loughborough because I could work as an intern coach in the evenings with the ECB unit, and I was associated with the Loughborough university team that comprised of 4 to 5 England players. So I have seen them close, and what I have seen is, skill-wise, we are supreme, far more better than them. It's just the mindset. It's just the confidence, and the day we are going gaining in a lot of confidence, and our mindsets are changing, and I think we are not far away from lifting the cup. That's my belief. And that is coming back to your question. Probably I drifted slightly away from your question. So that's how I developed my self. That's how I felt that, to be associated with a bigger state, you need to be more qualified, more knowledgeable, you need to gain more exposure. And that's how it happened, actually.
Something I'd like to understand a bit better is the qualifications that you need. Or is it a requirement? Is it necessary for you to become a coach? Also, if it's not, does it help? Does it benefit you in the future? In the long term, maybe it gives you more credibility as a coach. So just the degrees that are out there available to an aspirant, for example, and what universities, if I were to just get a sports management degree or something, a sports related degree, what universities are the target universities? Because I'm not sure how these things work, but like if you were to apply for a high level coaching position, I think these things do add to your profile. So it'll help you stand out above the other candidates. So if you could just highlight those aspects so that we can better understand it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right when you say that does qualification alone helps. All I can say is qualification alone doesn't help. But if you see that you want to be associated with the international side, if you go to the website, any job portal, what you will see is level 4 coaching course. So that again plays a big role. There you need to be qualified enough. So that is how the coaching course becomes important. And to be honest, it does add value if you really want to go there to learn something. It depends on an individual. Why are you doing the course? Are you doing the course just to add in your CV, or you're actually going to do the course to actually gain knowledge? So the whole perspective lies in an individual. I went there to learn something. Of course, additional was the qualification, the certificate. But along with that is I wanted to gain that hands-on experience. I wanted to see, I wanted to do things. So same way, qualification certificates are very important when it comes for a job interview to, get into that level. But if you really want to be good, you have to be practically good. Just theory does not help a coach. Theoretically, you can be exceptionally good. But if you can't implement, if you can't see the best in a player, if you can't take out the best from a player, how much qualified you are, it doesn't help in the long run. And players nowadays are intelligent enough to understand that. Because we have, kids are smart these days, so you have to really have that X factor in you to take out the best from them, to motivate them. You are the leader, so you have to lead them, and just a qualification doesn't help. But definitely, when you, as I said, I would again repeat, to get into any bigger assignment, the first entry point, you have to show that certificate.
So my question to you would be, if you had to, so in terms of giving advice to someone who wants to be where you are currently, someone who's trying to get there, if you had to kind of give them a structured way to like get to where you are, or advice to get to where you are, how they should start, how they should go about their career, what would you say to them? What would you say to an aspiring coach that wanted to do or be where you are currently?
The only thing, see, there is no exact success formula for anything, the most important ingredient is passion. As far I am concerned, what I feel is, personally, you have to have a lot of passion and love. You just can't be into a coaching career thinking that now it's very lucrative, let's go into coaching. It's not that. Under the sun, when you are really giving 300 400 catches per day, you're giving 500 600 throwdowns, it's a great load physically as well. But if you are passionate, you don't even feel how many catches you give. So what I would tell a youngster is to find out what exactly you want and why you want it. Is it for passion? Is it for fame? Is it for money? So there itself, half the problem is solved. If you are really passionate, then the whole thing is, see, as far I'm concerned, I did not play India. But then that is where I thought that since I don't have that international exposure, why not go into a place and educate myself? Because everybody doesn't get to play India, but that does not mean that should demotivate you. If you have played enough, if you know the game, you can definitely, upgrade yourself by various other things. It's just not a coaching degree. You can also, when I went to Loughborough, the one thing that really attracted me is we were told to attend sessions of coaches of other games. Because for a coach, you need to, need to have a broad mind. You need to have an eye. So it's just not about doing a coaching degree. Go and watch a match, a football match maybe, how the coach is treating, how the coach is doing the sessions. Go and see a rugby match. So it's basically how much passionate you are. Go out of the way and educate yourself. So it's about that. It's about the hungerness in you that will help you to go. And after that, of course, qualifications are important, definitely. But are you able, are you ready to give that many hours to your, like a cricketer? Why do some cricketers, in spite of being very talented, don't reach where they are? And some reach because they were less talented but more hardworking. The same formula works here. Maybe you have not represented India, but you are hungry to give back to the game, maybe in the form of a coach, maybe in the form of a trainer. So go there, practically try to see what other people are doing, interact with them, gain knowledge, read books, go online, do many courses possible, educate yourself every day, get yourself updated with what is going best, what is happening around you. So it's about giving in a lot of hours to what you love. That basically will allow you to excel.
Like, ma'am, another thing you mentioned is that you've conducted a lot of physical and mental training sessions for various teams. And earlier you also mentioned that skill-wise we might be at par, maybe supreme than other teams, but it's just a question of mindset, right? So when you are conducting these, especially the mental side of it, the mental side of things, what are you trying to instill in your team per se, or in your team members, and how important to you as a coach do you think in today's day and age is interpersonal management and interpersonal relationship?
Yeah, definitely it is very important, because a player has to have enormous faith in a coach and vice versa. What I basically do is see, sometimes you're always in the cricket field becomes a little daunting on you. You are away from your family for months, right? Because cricket, to be a cricketer, to be a successful cricketer, you have to sacrifice a lot of stuff. So what I try to building an environment full of positivity. Because if you see that young kids or young players, whenever they are in the nets, they come out and they are always obsessed with asking what they didn't do well. Okay, so that is the culture that needs to change. So that environment is all that a coach needs to create, and that's what I try to create, where players will be more concerned with their positives. They will be talking about positives, because if you have a positive mindset, then only you do better. Suppose you got out, you didn't score in 2 consecutive matches. What happens is you invariably, your subconscious mind is always thinking of those kind of dismissals. So it's a job of the coach to create a mindset, to create that environment where the player will be, forced to think of the positive, forced to think that no, I will do well. But it doesn't come overnight. It is basically, it's a lot of hard work. It's a continuous process. Maybe in your process, one player will do, seeing that one, another player will do. So it's a lot of patience. It doesn't come overnight. It is not so easy to just to switch on some motivational stuff and to speak motivational quotes and to motivate somebody. But it is a continuous process. You have to believe in the process. You have to continuously do it. You have to continuously practice it during practice, after practice. And that is how it gets inculcated in you. You see the Indian team today, that I'm talking about men's team, what it was 15 years ago and what it is today. It itself shows the mindset has changed enormously. And same way, women's cricket is also changing. It is just doing fantastically well. Same culture we are trying to create in the domestic circuit. And so hopefully, we will get success. It is a continuous process, and keeping our fingers crossed.
I think your story is really inspirational for any youngster out there. Sorry?
I said thank you so much for your appreciation.
No, it was a really good opportunity for us to just listen to you and just learn from your story. And also just this positive mindset is something that is very important, especially because times are really depressing right now. But it's just to have this positive mind. It's easier said than done, but always having, if you're engaged in a sport and you learn from a coach about this mentality, it just shapes you as a person. And I think sports has done that for us. And no matter what the scenario around you is in terms of academics, your job, whatever, if through sports or whatever it is, you can stay positive about these things, you'll always continue to succeed. And also another thing that we gain from this is there are enough opportunities out there. You just need to take advantage of them. I mean, it's an easy excuse to say that, oh, the scenario is just, I'm backed up against a wall. It's I can't get to where I'm going to get to just because I'm so disadvantaged, so that mindset is not the right mindset. So there are enough opportunities out there. You just need to seek out what they are. So on that positive note, we've come to an end for the episode. Thank you, Rituparna. It was lovely having you.
Thank you, Arjun and Rick, right? I was right with the names, I suppose. Thank you so much. And sorry for keeping you wait for a week. Apologies for that, but thank you so much. I wish you all the best in your career, and hope you will do really well and achieve all your dreams. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Good luck to you too, and hope you continue succeeding in what you do.
Thank you so much.
So guys, that's our episode for today. Thanks a lot for listening. At ThinkSports, we're dedicated to helping aspirants enter into sports-based careers. If you want to know more, you could head over to our website at www.thinksports.co.in. Also, follow us on all our social media accounts. Links will be in the description below. And feel free to subscribe to our podcast for similar content. We hope to see you next time.